evening, and you're joining the national news broadcast on ChannelEye as we will bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Veeravardhana.
A very good evening to you. I am Dishan Veerakone, and we start off by taking a look at your headlines for tonight.
A special statement from the IGP regarding the granting of justice to those affected by the Easter attack. All economic centers will remain open on the 28th and the 29th of this month. The program to provide the 2,000 rupee allowance for those deprived of livelihood is being conducted continuously. A consultancy board to look into and make recommendations on the problems of those in custody on imprisonment and detention orders over terrorist acts.
Inspector General of Police C.D. Vikramaratne says that investigations on the Easter attack are being conducted under his direct supervision without being subjected to any influences. The Easter attack had been carried out after a long-term planning. The IGP added that therefore the relevant investigations are extremely complex in the nature. The best example to illustrate this fact that the Commission report is comprised of 52,000 pages. Attention has been focused on the statement made by certain groups over the media and the social media in the preparation of the report. The IGP, delivering a special statement today, further said that investigations have revealed that most of these statements were mere expressions of opinion. Inspector General of Police C.D. Vikramaratne said that there has not been any connections between the CID divisions which conducted preliminary investigations on the Easter Sunday attack. However, investigations in one section was not conducted extensively. The President, upon assuming duties, has given authority to expedite investigations on the attack and to produce before the law and any person responsible for the incident disregarding their ranks. Thereafter, the CID and the Terrorist Investigation Division were engaged in depth investigations. The Police Intelligence Divisions have been restructured. 723 suspects have been taken into custody. Out of this number, 317 have been placed under remand and further interrogations have taken place. Many fraudulent items have been confiscated. Properties valued at 168 million rupees have been banned. Charge sheets have been filed against 11 accused in the high courts. The complexity of the case has been reflected by the fact that the department Easter Sunday attack report is comprised of 104 volumes and 52,000 pages. Among the suspects taken into custody included intellectuals and professionals of various social strata. All investigations have been carried out in top secrecy. Director of the Health Promotion Bureau, Specialty Physician Dr. Ranjit Bhatwantudao says that the percentage of those who have received at least one dose of vaccine under the COVID-19 immunization program is 56 and out of the total population. He further says that the percentage of those who have received both doses is 26.5. And meanwhile, the Director General of Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardhan, urges pregnant mothers to receive the vaccination against COVID-19 as pregnant mothers are at a high risk of contracting the coronavirus.
Travel restriction and quarantine curfew until 30th of August. I humbly request from the general public to adhere to all the health guidelines given by us during this quarantine curfew period. What we have observed is people want to engage in all sort of work, but it is not what we expected because we want to reduce the number of cases. Hospital capacity is now full. If we didn't reduce the number of cases, our staff will get exhausted. So we want to reduce the number of cases and to break this transmission. Then it will be helpful for our future activities also. Be at your home with your own family. Don't go and have parties with other neighbors during this restriction period because it is no point if you are going to do such activities. Then it will again lead into another spread. Be at home. Keep all the activities within your families. Give your 100% contribution contribution to this quarantine curfew and the restriction. It will definitely give results in 2 weeks' time. We are vaccinating 60 and above elderly in a special vaccination program. We are going house by house to give vaccination to the elderly who cannot come to a vaccination center. Please use this opportunity to get vaccinated yourself. Please contact your area MOH or the PHM or the PHI and get the information and give that information to area PHI or the PHM or the MOH. Get this facility and get you vaccinated as soon as possible. Once we finish 30 and above population, we are going to start the vaccination from 18 to 30 age group. Our hoping to finish that age group also at least first week or mid-October. Then 18 above population will be fully covered. From the total 7,750 deaths, 85.3% are not vaccinated. This is the alarming situation, and most of them are 60 and above. That's why we are requesting from all the elderly, comorbidities or not, get you vaccinated from the nearest vaccination center. Don't wait for a selection, whether it is Sinopharm, Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, whatever the vaccine is available. Please go and get your vaccination. All the pregnant mothers also, we are requested to get your vaccination as soon as possible from the nearest MOH office, vaccination center, or from the antenatal clinic at the hospital.
Director of the Health Promotion Bureau, Specialist Physician Dr. Ranjit Batuwan says that the percentage of those who have received at least one dose of the vaccine under the COVID-19 immunization program is 56% out of the total population. He further says that the percentage of those who have received both doses is 26.5%. The total number of vaccine doses inoculated on the people of the country under the COVID-19 immunization program is 18,099,065. 1,109,336 vaccine doses have been given to the people during the last 7 days. 161,650 doses of vaccine were provided yesterday. The government has taken measures to administer the COVID immunization vaccine to all those above the age of 60 years within this month. The Health Ministry requests the general public to contact the telephone number 1906 and to register without delay to receive the vaccine. A program is also underway to visit the houses of persons above the age of 60 years and with special needs in order to vaccinate them. Mobile vaccination vehicles have also been deployed by the Sri Lanka Army for this purpose. The Army has made arrangements today as well to operate mobile vaccination vehicles covering the districts of Colombo, Kalutara, Gampaha, Trincomalee, Kirinochi, Kurunegala, Hambantota, Galle, Matara, Nuwara Eliya, Matale, Badulla, Monaragala, Vaunia, Mana, Batiklo, Jaffna and Mullatiu. Meanwhile, vaccination centres have been set up covering 24 districts in the island. Inoculation of the vaccine for the people in the Puttalam district has taken place at the Medical Office of Health Divisions in Nathandia, Mahaweva, Madampe, Chilau, Vennapur, Arachikattu and Parliament today. The Pfizer vaccine was inoculated at these centres. Head of the National Operations Centre for the Prevention of the COVID-19 Outbreak, Army Command General Shavendra Silva says that the Chinese People's Liberation Army has donated 300,000 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine for the use of the Sri Lanka Army. The stock is scheduled to be received by next Saturday. 3,390 COVID-19 patients were detected from the country today. Meanwhile, 2,163 patients left the hospitals today following recovery. Minister Dr. Ghelia Rambukwala has made a request from the Indian High Commissioner Gopal Bagle to focus major attention to fulfill Sri Lanka's oxygen requirement. At a meeting with the High Commissioner at the Health Ministry, the Minister has also focused the attention of the envoy on the provision of mobile oxygen units manufactured in India. The Minister has also requested to provide the Tosli Sumad medicine to Sri Lanka. The Indian High Commissioner has pledged to extend the maximum assistance for the Sri Lanka COVID-19 control program. Two prominent Japanese companies have contributed 100,000 surgical masks to Sri Lanka. The stock is to be brought to Sri Lanka in a Sri Lankan airline next Saturday. Two stories of a building under construction for the emergency unit of the Kandy National Hospital is to be converted into a corona patient treatment center. The constructions are scheduled to be completed within 10 days. Island-wide search operations to apprehend quarantine curfew violators are being continuously implemented. The police have also taken measures to deploy roadblocks in every district. 705 persons have been taken into police custody in the 24 hours that ended at 6 o'clock this morning on charges of violating the quarantine curfew and quarantine laws. All economic centres were scheduled to be kept open today as well. The State Ministry of Agriculture says all economic centres will remain open on the 28th and the 29th of this month. The Palyagoda Fish Market is to be kept open daily despite the quarantine curfew. A discussion over Zoom technology was conducted by the Department of Government Information today to enlighten district secretaries of Colombo, Kandy, Trincomalee, Badulla, Hambantota and Anuradhapura over educating masses on the public welfare during the quarantine period. Now, the presentation of the 2,000 rupees to persons who have been deprived of their livelihood due to the quarantine curfew has taken place in many parts of the country today as well. A program to hand over the 2,000 rupee allowance was conducted at the Beruval Division Secretariat Division today. It was scheduled to distribute 8.2 million rupees to 41,000 persons in 82 Gramanidai divisions in the Beruval DSD. 2,386 residents in the Vala Lavita Division Secretariat Division are also receiving the 2,000 rupee allowance these days. The Gramanidari and some of the officials visit house to house in order to hand over the allowance. Now, 8,000 families in 102 Gramanidai divisions in the Vavuniya district are also scheduled to receive the 2,000 rupee allowance. House-to-house visits are taking place in this connection. The 2,000 rupee allowance has also been provided today to persons deprived of source of income in the Kadavat Satara Division Secretariat Division in the Gaul district. A sum of 12.7 million rupees has been set aside for the provision of the 2,000 rupee allowance for 63,500 families in the K-Gaul district. The distribution program has commenced from the Meepite Gramanidai division today. Colombo District Secretary Pradeep Yasaratna has expressed opinion regarding the handing over of the 2,000 rupee allowance to people in the Colombo district who have lost their livelihood. Kandy District Secretary Chandan Tenakon has also expressed opinion regarding the program.
An advisory council has been appointed to present recommendations and advice to the President regarding taking decisions pertaining to investigations on suspects undergoing prison sentences of detention due to acts of terrorism and also on granting bail for such suspects. Director General of Legal Affairs of the President, Attorney at Law Harigupta Rohanadira says President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appointed the Board of Consultants under Clause 13 of the Prevention of Terrorism Act. The Advisory Council is headed by former Chief Justice Ashoka De Silva. Other members are retired High Court Judge A.R. Heyantuduwa and retired Solicitor General Suhada Gamlat. The President's office points out that prisoners undergoing long-term sentences have been deprived of the opportunity to present facts regarding their rights as a result of the absence of such a council. Harigupta Rohanadira adds that prisoners will be able to present their grievances with the establishment of the Advisory Council.
Now, economic analyst Dr. Kenneth De Silva says that higher monetary supply does not cause a significant impact on inflation. He points out that this fact has been established by comparing data according to new tendencies.
If you look at the theory suggests that if there is excess inflation, it tends to create inflation in terms of price rises in goods and services. Now, that theory assumes that production or the supply side is fixed and remains constant during the period, and the quantity of money increases while the supply side remains fixed, and as a result of that you find that any rise in money supply leads to the rise in prices of goods and services, in other words inflation. However, over the last 15 to 20 years, if you look at the data, the empirical evidence suggests completely a different thought process altogether. The history and the empirical evidence provides a different answer altogether. If you look at the excess money supply in the global context, The US excess money supply is close upon 100%. However, the US inflation is down to 1.5%. So therefore, that relationship doesn't exist in the US context. If you look at it from the Chinese perspective, the Chinese excess money supply is about 200% of GDP, while the inflation is about 2.5%. So therefore, that relationship also doesn't exist. If you take on a global scale, the global scale too has similar empirical evidence that presents itself. The excess money supply is about 100% of global GDP, whereas global inflation has tapered down to about averaging 2%. So therefore, this whole myth and false perception created about the fears of money printing leading to inflation and excess money supply being a deterrent has to be put into context and look at very objectively. The data is out there. You can look at the data and understand whether the relationship exists or doesn't exist. And the global data, once again, if you look at it, doesn't show that excess money printing or excess money supply has caused any inflationary pressures globally as well as locally. That remains the same.
Now, a bowser carrying kerosene from Colombo for distribution in Matara, Veligam and Mirissa has met with an accident in Palatua in Matara today. The driver of the vehicle has escaped with minor injuries. People were seen collecting kerosene that flowed along the area.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna parliamentarian Jagat Kumara says that the government has no intention whatsoever in curtailing government employee salaries. He made these remarks at the media briefing in Colombo today. Parliamentarian Jagat Kumara said that all must take commitments. He further said that there is no intention to slash the salaries of government servants even by ₹1. He added that some people are trying to trivialize the sacrifices of the politicians. Health Minister Dr. Kelly Rambukwala says that the government is ready to provide maximum infrastructure facilities for local production of medicine. The minister, at a meeting with the Sri Lanka Medical Industrialists Forum yesterday, has requested for immediate opening of medicine production industries with the assistance of investors. The minister has pointed out on this occasion that there is an ability to receive guarantees for proper prices for locally produced medicine. This would enable to export easily drugs to countries in the region. Preliminary attention has been focused on the speedy distribution of imported medicine to areas where such medicines are needed. It has also been pointed out that the task of those engaged in the field is of crucial importance. The minister has requested to hand over the benefits of distribution and sales to the people. The Drug Manufacturers Forum has proposed on the preparation of a pricing methodology despite the fact of the issuance of a gazette notification on price controls of medicines. The forum has also focused the attention of the minister on the need to have a proper methodology in the issuance of monies on the drug production registration of the National Drugs Regularizing Authority. The meeting was attended by State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana and Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Major General and Specialist Physician Dr. Sanjeeva Munasinghe.
Now, a training program on preliminary and freestyle jumps on water by parachutists was conducted at the Maduru Oya Reservoir recently. The objective of the program has been to enhance the warring power of the three armed forces. A 5-year plan of the incumbent army commander aims to conduct exercises to divert special Sri Lankan operations on a new avenue. Participants in the special military exercise were the Army Commando Regiment, Special Task Force personnel as well as officials attached to the Special Fleet Task Force of the Sri Lanka Navy and the Special Task Force members of the Air Force Regiment. The special training session culminates the final exercise of the Special Warrior Airman and Pathfinder course. The Sri Lanka Army says the participating troops have been provided with high-quality training and they cover a substantial field in air maneuvering. Accordingly, a parachute jump from 25,000 feet in the skies to a land surface is a specialty. Similarly, trainings have been given on operations conducted at a height between 10,000 to 15,000 feet in mid-air. The training program also includes on strategies to enter the enemy locations, selection of parachute jump zones, marking of jump areas, the security of such areas, and the bringing of aircraft and helicopters to these areas. The training course is being conducted under the guidance of the Commando Regiment Chief, Major General Krishantha Yanaratne, and the supervision of the Commander Task Headquarters and the Regiment Training School. It has also been reported that so far 136 officials of different ranks in the 3 armed forces have successfully completed the freestyle parachute course. The number of officials of the 3 armed forces who has successfully completed the preliminary parachute course is 4,092.
A minor earth tremor has been recorded at a location between Tanamalvila and the Yala National Wildlife Park. The tremor, which took place at 9:20 last night, was reported as 2.5 in the Richter scale. The minor earthquake was also recorded in the geological meters installed in Pallekele, Mahakanadarawa and Hakmana. However, no damages have been reported. The Geological and Mining Bureau says that tremors of this nature occur on numerous occasions.
Well, that's a wrap of tonight's primetime news bulletin here at Rupavahini ChannelEye, and until we meet again next time, do take care, stay safe and good night.
Yes, good night.